I recognize some faces, and looks like there's some new folks too. So my name is, we'll do quick introductions. My name's Dan. I work for Trellis, is the owner of Walnut Towers, and I am primarily responsible for heading up the development process, which is securing the financing and working with the contractor and stuff like that. So that's me. I'm Dan. Dave, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Dave Ike with Frericks Construction. I'll be the project manager for Frericks for the rehab. You probably won't see me as much as the on-site superintendent. He'll be here every day once construction starts until the project's finished. So most of that communication will be between my super and you all, as well as site manager.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you guys all should know me.
Yeah.
What's your name, little lady?
If not, we have a problem.
We should know you. Hey, still you gotta say your name though.
I'm Alicia out of Trellis Corporate, overseeing Walnut.
Nobody cares.
I'm a relocation specialist. My name and number was on the letter that you got, the general information letter about the project coming up.
I'm Sarah Schiffer, also with Support Shannon. We also have a third colleague, Rod Myers, who's not here today, that will also be working with us.
So, thanks for ProSources here tonight, in part because we had distributed the general information notice and just wanted to answer any questions you had and just explain kind of what it is in plain English, the GIN notice as it's called. So we'll talk about that a little bit, and then we've got Dave here to delve. You know, I think at the last meeting, we kind of started at the high level of what the construction activities will be. And so Dave's here now to take us down in a little bit more detail. And you all had a lot of questions last time that really the contractor is going to be the best person to answer. And so we'll go through some construction things tonight. And then there'll be more meetings as we get closer to the beginning of construction. We'll just take it down in levels of detail and have the contractor back so that as we get closer to construction, you all have as detailed as possible the roadmap of what's going to happen. So real quick at the start, just a quick update on the project is that it really hasn't changed since the last time we met. We're still on track to begin construction early next year. It'll probably be, we're working towards February. Construction itself probably won't start on site until March or even a little later. So that's the general timeline, and that is driven entirely by our funding. We've just been working through the due diligence process and the design process and all the pieces of paper that have to go back and forth. But that has all been proceeding, and the design now is more farther along. We've got some more detail from our architect and our contractor about the scope and how that's all going to happen. So that's the main update. Well, first, wanted to talk about one of the things that we're going to do that I don't know that we mentioned at our last meeting is we intend to have a lot. There's the side of the building that faces downtown, and it has no windows on it. We intend to do a big mural on that building facade.
Cool.
And we don't have a plan for what that mural is going to be, but we've hired an artist that we've worked with on some other buildings, but we wanted to see if anyone is interested in helping us decide what the picture should be and what it should entail. So, Becky, do you have?
Yep, they should have, when you
Okay.
got in here, the
wonderful team with us here. Hand it out to you. If you don't have one, please let me know, we'll get you one. So it has the date and time of when the meeting is gonna occur. So if you guys could please turn this back in if you're interested in being part of this team. Definitely get this back to me as soon as possible so I can get this back to them so they know when and who will be joining on this evening. So it looks like it's about an hour and a half long on Thursday, November 9th.
Yeah, so, there's some other, groups in Mankato that we'll be talking with as well. There's an arts council and some other local groups. But this is just all to say that we intend that it's gonna be large scale. It'll fill up that whole, all 8 floors of elevation. And we don't, at this point, have a required thing that it has to be. So we wanna hear from you all and we wanna hear from others and try and figure out, I don't know, how it can be cool. So, that's
So
that.
it's not the birds, like you got,
Right,
Yeah.
right, it's not the bird. Yeah, so when we applied for funding, our architects, they did it was just like an image. But yeah, that was just like a placeholder from them. So yes, yeah. Yeah, it's really open-ended at this point, what it could be, so. Thanks. Next thing, yeah, let's dive into the scope. So we introduced Ferris a minute ago, and I'll let Dave kind of lead off with some more information on what the scope of work is going to entail. And I know we want to talk about the elevator in particular, and then we might pause and, as questions come up, hold your questions, but then we'll pause then. And if you all have more questions about the scope of work and how it's going to happen and what's going to happen in your unit and things, we can all try and answer. So take it away.
Perfect, well, thanks. I guess the biggest reason for me here tonight is to be able to kind of explain what the process will look like during the course construction. And real quick overview of who we are as a company. Ferris was incorporated in 1983, so 40 years this year. We've been doing this. Over the last probably 10 years, we have completed over 20,000 units. Okay, so it's between 1,000 to 1,500, maybe even 2,000 units per year. So this is our niche. We also do some new construction as well, but the occupied rehab is our bread and butter basically. So we have people that you don't see here today that you will see once construction starts. Obviously for Ferris Construction, we have our own self-performed laborers and carpenters on our crew that are hired by Ferris. So they're the ones that will be doing the demolition of the cabinets for the replacement, and then the carpenters will be the ones putting them back in, same with the countertops, things of that nature. The laborers of ours will also be doing the in-unit moving, and I'll explain that in just a little bit what that entails. You'll also be seeing other subcontractor trades, such as electricians, plumbers, flooring contractors, painters. They are all, just about every single one of them have worked on these types of projects with us in the past. So we have done the vetting for everybody's safety, that they are legitimate, that they know what they're doing, they're very considerate. We understand that we are coming into your home, okay? We want to be able to make sure to leave your home as well as it was before we entered. So we take very good pride in that. So does our superintendent that you also don't see here today. He's been with us for, I'd say 28 years. So he's been around for quite a while. Let's talk about kind of the daily working hours, the expectations. We are a union contractor, so they have union rules that they have to follow as the workers. And their hours of operation are 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. I say 7 to 5, mainly because in the event that we have an emergency that we weren't anticipating, like a water line breaks towards the end of the day, or something happens, we need that little bit extra time from 3 to 5. We want to make sure that we have that. So most of them will knock off in the early afternoon for the day, and then you guys have peace and quiet through the evening time, okay? We are essentially, technically working out of town because our home base is in St. Paul. They will more than likely be working 4 10-hour days as well. So whether it's Monday through Thursday or Tuesday through Friday, more than likely it's Monday through Thursday. But the bulk of the construction in the units will happen in that 4-day period of time. There will still be work going on Fridays, even if they do 410s, but it'll be a little bit limited, okay? They will also probably start working at 6 a.m., but they will not be making noise, a lot of racket. We call that rollout time from 6 to 7. So they're either rolling out cords, they're stocking cabinets in the hallways for the units that they're getting into, materials, things of that nature. It'll be kind of quiet hour timeline. We could talk about, entrance to units as well too with Alicia and Becky. I know some people work nights, so we can work around that. We just have to make sure that we notify Becky or the superintendent of what those kind of things are, and we can work with you, okay? Sound good? Before we enter any unit, you will receive a minimum of 2 notifications, 2 paper notifications. Typically, we do a 7-day notification as well as a 48-hour notification, okay? That way you know we are going to be coming into your unit at a specific date. The one thing is this one is a little bit kind of mixed matched as far as how we're doing the unit rehab. And the reason I say that is because I'm sure that all of you are aware you do have some very old piping that is in this building, okay? All of that waste and domestic water piping is getting replaced throughout the building, all of the stacks. So we have it set up on our sequencing, which I can go over with you all, of being able to move specific units at different periods of construction to be able to gain access to those plumbing lines, while also still having some of you still in an occupied rehab situation, okay? So some of you will be moving, some of you will be staying in your units, and it's all laid out because of how those stacks are, okay? I can go through that in the color-coded section. I don't want to scare you, but it's actually pretty easy when you see it on paper. Cleaning of your units. The occupied units, we will clean up our construction debris that we make. It is construction. There will be some sawdust, there will be some wood chips, there will be some things of that nature, but we will clean those up. In the units that we are tearing apart walls, we will clean pretty much everything in those areas. What we will not be doing is cleaning regular dust that has occurred. Dust bunnies, things of that nature, just so we're very clear. It's mainly related to construction debris, okay? All right, what we need from you for the residents that are in an occupied situation, we will be providing boxes to you to be able to pack belongings into those. And I don't mean all belongings. What I mean by that is, in the time that we're doing the kitchen cabinet replacement, we will need to have you pull the items out of the kitchen cabinets and put them in the boxes. You do not need to move the boxes. Our laborers will move those boxes to make way for our reconstruction. If you are getting, you are all getting new kitchen cabinets and countertops. We will not remove the cabinets unless we are going to put the new ones back in place. So it'll be the same day. If something gets removed, it will get put back in the same day, okay? So when we replace the cabinets, if you come back at home, or if you're in the unit and at the end of the day, the new cabinets and countertops are in, we ask that you put your belongings back in those cabinets. So then when we get to the next step, any kind of flooring that we're doing, the pictures and things that are on your dressers, or knick-knack items, figurines, we'll ask that we pack those up so we can move them within your unit. You do not need to move dressers. You do not need to move beds. You do not need to move Ottomans, couches, you don't need to move any of those. We will move those for you. So what we do is before we start moving things, we take photographs of where everything's at, just to make sure that we can put it back in place when we're done with the work for the day. Now, if we're off an inch, let us know. We can certainly come back and move it. But we'll try to get it as close as we possibly can. One thing to mention is, this is construction. There is an opportunity for something to get broken during a move and things like that. If something does happen, please notify the superintendent as well as Becky on site right away, so we can at least get information on it to get it taken care of, fixed, replaced, repaired. Okay? So the sooner you let us know, the better. If we've got painting in the units, and there are some times where paint gets dripped on clothes, let us know. We'll get it taken care of. Okay? It does happen. It's unfortunate, but it does. Does anybody have pets?
Oh, man, look at all them animal lovers.
Dogs, birds, cats, fish?
The only indoor animal we have fish.
Yeah, these guys,
Perfect, excellent.
He owns the place.
So, all of the materials, the brand new materials that are getting put in, the glues, the carpet, the flooring, the cabinets, are low to no formaldehyde and very low VOCs. So nothing is harmful to your health that we're putting in. However, some of these new materials do provide an off gas, what they call an off gas. This off gas can last for up to 3 to 5 days after it's installed. You know, that kind of like a new carpet smell or a new paint smell, that's what you're smelling, but it's non-harmful. So that will stay within your unit for that period of time. It is non-harmful or toxic to any pets either. The pets are able to stay in the unit as long as we have some type of kennel for them or cage or things like that. And it will be noisy. It is construction. So there will be saws, impact drills, things of that nature. So if you are concerned about your pet, they may need to be thought about getting relocated somewhere for the time that your unit is getting constructed. Okay? And we can certainly work with Becky on how that looks. Medications. Please make sure that if you are taking medications at specific times, that if you're going off site to bring those with you, so you don't have to have any issues of not being able to find them. That goes for when you're packing. Make sure you pack them in a spot, purse, backpack, whatever that is going to go with you. There are other units that are getting moved, and ProSource is here to help with that assistance. There are some units that are getting moved for the entire duration, and then there are also units that are getting moved within the building, 2 units that we've already rehabbed. So then once your unit is done, let me back up. Once you move into the rehab unit, you'll stay there for a temporary period of time until your unit is finished with that rehab. Then you will move back into your old unit. Okay?
How long?
What's that?
How long, a week or 2?
No, this is because of the plumbing stack replacement, we are longer. We are up to a month to 45 days.
What if you have a service animal?
Yep.
Most, I have no place to go.
We can talk and find out what specific unit area you are in and see where that,
Because most
Ends
motels
up.
don't allow pets.
correct. So let's take a look after this, we get done with everything else, and then we can go through that.
Will emergency services be notified of, because most people have a cell phone and is registered to that apartment? There's 911 called all the time for somebody emergency. I mean, just something to think about, because if they don't know exactly which apartment they've been in, because they've only been in it for a week now or a day or 2.
Sure.
just a
So,
concern.
there are emergency units to specific units, you're saying?
Oh, well, I'm saying if I was to call 911 because I'm having a heart attack and I'm normally in my apartment, but I'm not in that apartment now, it might be, I don't remember what apartment I went into. I've only been into it for a day now. I mean, is any emergency nurse services going to be notified of any of that?
EMS has been notified already
That's what I was wondering.
about the construction that's going to happen. And I'll kind of go through that too with the elevator as well. So, what I also forgot to mention is even long before any of the work starts in the unit or you've been notified that you're having to move or relocate or whatever that is, our superintendent will come in and knock on every single one of your doors to be able to talk with you individually. I would say at least 2 weeks before all this is happening to find out specific needs, things of that nature, as well as work out a plan with you individually. He'll determine how many boxes you're going to be needing for, those belongings, things like that. So, we can get into scope of work. Starting with the units, all of the units are getting new kitchen cabinets and countertops. We are also changing the layout of all of your units. So instead of a U-shaped kitchen layout, you will have an L-shaped kitchen layout. That divider wall between the units, or the kitchen and the living room, is going to be gone. Okay, it's going to open things up. Yeah, so you'll feel like you've got a lot more room. Okay. There are a couple units that have that as well, but the
I have a
majority.
shelf, like an attic unit, right in the wall, right next to the kitchen. And I got my knickknacks, and it's really, really heavy, and really big and bulky. I can't move it.
Nope, we will move that for you. The one thing is, with our superintendent, he will check in with you as far as the breakable knick-knack items and things like that, just to make sure that none of that is going to get moved around.
And most of my knickknacks got boxes on them, so.
Sure. Yep. Windows. All windows are getting replaced. Unsettable. That incorporates a portion of that exterior assembly too. We are re-insulating that, re-weatherproofing that. New metal gets put in those insets of where the precast is on the outside, and that whole kind of assembly gets rebuilt. Okay?
So some of us pretty people, we get balconies, thank you.
No. The shape doesn't change on the windows, just new windows and extras. Okay?
Oh, that's gonna have a balcony, you gotta put on a show in the summer.
Right. You're getting a new air conditioner, suite and air conditioner as well too.
I have a question. What is
Through wall. Yep. Yep.
I actually already have a through the wall air conditioner.
Okay.
Do I have to take mine to the storage then?
If you want to keep it, yes. We can certainly get rid of it for you.
I would like to keep mine because it works really well in my furniture already.
Well, the intent is that with this new assembly, you won't have to have a window air conditioner unit, okay?
Right.
Not to put in, well, you will have a stationary air conditioner unit that's there already in the wall assembly itself. Okay, so we don't want to be wrecking these new windows is the intent as far as with window units.
Mine's actually sitting in the sleeve.
Oh, sure.
I bought the actual through the sleeve air conditioner.
Yep.
So we will be installing and they will be owned by the building so that we will maintain them. So if
Okay.
you do have one, you can sell it. The appliance delivery people can recycle it for free, or you can store it. You can choose to do what you want with your air conditioner.
But you can keep it, right?
Yours, yes, but it will be replaced. So
So,
if you wanna keep it, it'll have to go in storage or storage.
What if your storage unit seems all full up?
Sell it.
I'll get through the scope, and then we can make sure to keep your questions for the end, if that works for you. Getting new light fixtures throughout your units. Appliances, there are some of you that have already received some brand new appliances. 50 units out of the entire building are getting replaced. And we do have a list from management of which ones were replaced just recently. So flooring throughout the units, painting, shower surrounds, bathroom mirror, medicine cabinet, toilet bath accessories, so toilet paper holder, towel bars, getting air conditioner unit we just talked about, and you got bedroom doors and bifold closet doors that are getting replaced. So that's the units. New common areas. Let's get through and then. Common areas, we talked about the waste and vent, we're getting light fixtures, painting, flooring, the elevator modernization. The elevator itself is getting a complete overhaul, because it is, I think, pretty much original to the building. So there will be some downtime with that. The entire duration of that is going to be 8 weeks. However, we are providing an exterior temporary elevator for all of you for the building. Okay, so it's going, they call it a skip. It's an exterior material elevator. What's so funny?
Trying to get more people.
Raw material.
That is going to be used for getting up and down the buildings, okay? There will be limited timelines on that. And this is where I was saying EMS has been notified, fire department has been notified. They have access to the building 24/7 at all hours of the night. They will be trained on how to operate that. This temporary elevator, people cannot operate it. It has to be done by an actual operator that we will provide. That's why I say it's going to be limited to certain timelines. And we are going to be talking about that with management as far as what are the typical times that gets used. But it's just, we're limited with personnel to be able to operate it for you. Reconfiguring of this office, bathroom, community room, and bike storage area. I do have a printout here of the first floor, what it looks like, so you can take a look at it. It is changing pretty dramatically for the better, so that's great. And then we also have a fitness and game room going in on the east side, and we're getting new boilers and water heaters for the building. So your heating and your hot water will definitely be improved, okay? Exterior, we are doing some modifications to the parking lot out here. We've got a brand new backup generator getting put in, so if power does go out, that you will have emergency power for that. We've got some sidewalk replacement at the back here. Aluminum storefronts on the main level are getting replaced. We've got some landscaping. I talked about windows and blinds. Getting a new roof on the building to help preserve and protect that. We're also painting some portions of the exterior. As Dan mentioned, we've got a mural on the east side. And then we've got additional security cameras going in.
More?
Yes. Yes. The what?
The patio.
Our patio and our benches.
It's getting moved to the other side of the parking lot in the corner right now. There was a lot of discussions, mainly driven by the city, of where that had to be as well as what it looked like. So,
I do think we are improving it.
we are, yep. And like I said, our hands are a little bit tied as far as design team and ownership on what the city wanted to also approve with that. So they understand that it's important to you as residents of having a space to go, so that they almost wanted to get rid of it completely, so.
We fought to keep the grill, it'll have a grill,
Yeah.
and seating and a, the space to gather. It'll also have like a trellis covering, so you'll have some shade. So the location's changing, but I do think it's improved.
There's also going to be some electric vehicle rough-in locations for future electric vehicles. I think that about covers everything as far as the scope. I know I went through a boatload of information in a very short period of time. Those are more than likely going to be going away.
How about this tree? the only tree we have. Is the tree going?
Those are the
Don't know for
locations
sure.
for the future electrical features.
Let's ask, let's ask.
They went from whoever's on the side of
There's no other.
whoever's up there above it, they fell off the window, they can land in the tree. If it's not there, you
I'll
want.
bring that up to the electrical designer as far as making sure that we have some type of outsource exterior.
Yeah, we use a lot of cleaner cars and other stuff like that, charging, battery chargers.
Sure. Good question.
I recently got a new refrigerator and
Okay. So, she would have a copy of that as far as the list of what unit that was.
my unit 811.
Okay? Okay.
So, when you guys are redoing the showers, are we gonna have another space that we can take our showers while that's all torn apart?
So, the units that are moving into a different unit, those will be considered vacant to access the stacks from the back side. So during the day, there will be a portion of time for those occupied units where they will not be accessible. But at night, after we're done, they'll be back up and running so they can be used up until the early morning before we get here the next day.
Okay. I guess I was under the impression you were replacing the whole, like, shower master.
The surrounds.
Yeah, the
Yep.
surrounds.
So that would be done in the same day as far as the surround. Yep.
Because I like to take my showers at least daily.
Sure.
So I don't wanna go days without
I do, just to, because that's a really good question, just to expand on that. Working toilet as well, working shower, working sink, the ability to cook, that will all be functional in the evenings and in the early mornings, you know, before they start work, after they're done.
Coffee.
And then there'll be certain, coffee, there'll be certain times during the day where it won't be accessible. But.
Yep, that's where I mentioned right away in the beginning, if it's getting replaced, it will get put back that same day, whatever that is. This one, gentleman over here had a question first, I'll get to you.
What about the
Oh, behind you, sorry.
Yeah.
what about the people that work from home? Cause I stream on Facebook between 2 until whenever.
Let's take a look at what stack you're in.
Okay.
You might be one that is getting
Cause I
moved
really,
over.
okay, I'm moving over too, cause I really can't afford to move all the stuff out of that.
Sure. Well, and that's where ProSource is involved as well too, as far as, you know, what expenses there are, if any, and what that looks like.
I
So,
mean, if I have to move over to the next apartment, I'd rather do it that option better, cause I have like the highest speed internet that I need for streaming.
sure.
That's basically like my job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll make sure, we'll make sure that, you either, that you're either, we'll make sure that that's accommodated, because that's a very reasonable importance.
You're gonna fix, you're gonna have outside lighting, the exterior lighting?
There is new outside lighting in the scope as of right now, yes. Yep.
And I don't know if you know this detail, but there was a question asked about the tree back there.
Yeah.
Do we know if that is staying or going? You might not remember.
I don't remember that one
Okay,
specifically.
so we'll have to get back to you on the tree. There will be new
As long as our
landscaping.
patio looks good, that's fine.
Yeah, there will be, there's not
We've
a
got
lot
surround
of,
sound out there too.
yeah.
Okay.
It's not a very, it's a tight site, there's not a lot of soft landscape areas, but there will be new landscaping where possible.
Yep. Over here.
My unit and because like every night like water and I don't wanna like every time I go take a shower and the unit above me take a shower and the water
So that'll get taken care of with the new piping that's getting replaced. All of the piping is getting replaced, both sanitary or the drains, as well as the supplies. So all of that is getting replaced. Yeah, so there will also be some, cosmetic repairs that are needed to be done. Yep.
I want one here for you.
Yep.
Like a brand new one.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang on to it.
Okay.
You did?
Sure, well, we have to put in the air conditioners and that's kind of a
I
big.
know, I know.
Yeah.
Wire, brand new.
Yep. Yep.
Are you doing the common areas after the apartments?
Yes, it's gonna be a little bit tied together, maybe because of the stack replacements, we do have to access those stacks from my corridor as well.
So the bathrooms, just going out here, so that if they need to, they can use.
No, mine's only.
Yes, that's the one, yep.
I get to 8,000.
So you want.
That's the whole thing.
No, we are replacing the tabs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have all the
Different boxes, the covers, covers it. But we are not replacing any of the wiring that's on it. No.
I just need my NFC to cover all the apps. That's small. Well,
Erase all of them like that.
well, I also don't have the most.
Well, that might be something that's a little different than everybody else is Okay, and that'll be something too to go over. That's on
If I could, it seems like there's multiple conversations going on. And so, let's try and focus on the questions, and if you have, if there's other conversations you wanna have, you know, we can.
Yes, thank you, I can't hear me.
I think the current question was about electrical service and is the wiring being redone? And the answer is you're getting new panels, but we're not completely redesigning the actual electrical service. But if you do have a particular concern or issue, it is something that we can talk to the contractor about. Cable is not, I don't think we're doing cable. No.
Okay.
No, we're not.
As long as you don't mess with the cable.
We do have a.
Yeah, we're not
building
messing with the cable. And
Wi-Fi.
PCs for people.
Yeah.
Right.
There's one thing that David mentioned, PCs for people is staying and expanding their operations. That there's a big, this side over here is all vacant.
Yeah.
They're gonna move from their space. Oh, we're gonna make that space over there nice for our commercial business.
So that means our, mail room.
Then we're gonna
is
redesign, yep, we're gonna redesign that whole mail, we're gonna add a package room, there's gonna be a whole redesigned mail area.
I have the sheet here for that first level if you want to take a look at it. We got a question.
Yeah, you had.
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions. So you know those boxes in the entryway, are they gonna stay the same, or is there gonna be like a new type of system?
The boxes in the entry.
Like the call boxes?
Answer you right now on that. I don't know the answer to that question as far as the. I can circle back.
Do you have a feedback on it,
Yeah,
or like a particular question, or? We'll get back to you.
It goes down all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My number never works, random people always come in,
I'm not even in it.
like, anyone
So
like.
those notices are going out tomorrow because I have A+ security coming tomorrow afternoon again, they're here every week. So please, let me know tomorrow because Penny's doing those notices tomorrow, hopefully, when she gets a chance. So So even before you leave today, let me know what your apartment number is and what the issue is, because they are gonna be here tomorrow afternoon. Again, so let me know before you leave tonight what issue you're having with the system again.
Did you have another question? It's gonna be done in stacks. In stacks, so
Should we do your
every
color
floor,
diagram?
yeah.
So that the plumbing, it runs vertically, up. There can be those one at a time.
Do you want me to take it up?
More than a
Okay, perfect.
So, getting your bearings here. This side of the building is that way, towards the Skyway. This side is towards downtown, okay? So essentially, just like this. Got it? So this is the 01 stack over here, 07 stack in this corner, okay?
Okay.
So the green are the stacks that are getting relocated for the duration of the project, which ProSource is going to be the ones talking about. Sorry.
So if you're in 01 unit or an 07 unit,
Yes.
you work with Shannon.
Yep. The reason for that is so we can have open units for the people in the yellow to move to while we work on your units, okay? So how this looks is, the pink are the occupied units. Those, you can stay in your unit for the entire duration of the project, okay? Yellow means that you're moving into these green units at specific times for that 45-day, 30 to 45-day duration. Once your unit is complete, along with the occupied on the back side of it, you will be moving back to your unit. Once this one gets cleaned and redone from those people living in it, the next yellow moves into the green. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason these are back to back like this is because right here is all of your piping in those bathrooms.
Yeah, the center of the building.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have to access that from the unit side in these yellows. So we have to tear apart this wall to gain access to replace that.
Alright, so where you're showing on that map where your finger was, that's the front side of the building.
This is the 01 stack over here. Yep, front side, front corner.
This is front, this is facing.
Yes.
That means street.
This is the front side of the building over
Okay.
there. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
So, there is two stacks of units that we will have a period of time where you will not have a kitchen to be able to prepare food in, meaning a kitchen sink, okay? And we have talked with management, I believe ProSource, for some type of voucher of some sort to be able to handle that for a very short period of time. The reason being is because it's on the side of the elevator and we don't have access from the other side. So we have to shut this down and gain access from your unit in that occupied unit.
Oh, okay.
But we will do that in a very short period of time and do the whole entire stack and then get it back up and running so we can get you back out.
So when you're saying on the stack, so where our trash compactor is now,
Yep.
it's gonna move to the end of the building?
No, it's still gonna stay where it is, over here,
Okay.
that's back over here.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll stay. Yep. It's just this occupied stack right here and this occupied stack right here because we have an exterior wall that we can't gain access on the opposite side for the plumbing. So it's just the kitchen sinks. Bathrooms can still be working, showers can still be working, it's the kitchen sinks and the kitchen area, okay?
Are you, the registers for heating? Are they gonna be replaced?
The what for eating?
The heat injectors for heat.
No, we are not replacing those, but we are replacing the boiler itself.
They'll work better. They'll work better.
No, they'll work better, because
Yeah.
in the winter time, you make a lot of noise at night.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Replacing the boiler will help with that. Does everybody kind of understand how
Yeah.
this workflow will go? Okay.
And we will, is that white space between, is that kind of where the elevator is there?
This is the elevator box right here. Yep, and then this area here is going to be our temporary access point when this elevator is down. That skip will be on the outside of the building right here, over here. And we're gonna tear out these windows and the wall assemblies, and that's where you will kind of enter each floor, okay? So it'll be very close to where your elevator is now for access to that.
Are we losing the storage then?
Just right behind you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is that permanently losing the storage, or will there be storage back after at the end of it all?
We have discussed with management, we don't have a final resolution on how that looks when we're putting it back together, but we do understand there's concern for that storage area. Yep. Yes? Are you in one of the green or the yellow?
I'm in 202.
The 02 stack is right here, I believe. You're in the pink. You are staying.
I can stay.
So, and that's another good question. This is a lot of information, and it's of course extremely important to understand the details. So we will be going over this again, and ProSource and management will also have the detailed plan so that as you get specific notices about what's happening in your unit and in and out and timing.
Yeah, when do you gotta move to the one down the hall?
Yeah.
Do you get to stay?
There'll be people that you can ask questions to. None of it will be, we will work very hard that none of it's a surprise.
Right.
And if you have concerns or things like the concern you raised about streaming and your occupation, we have resources that we will work through all those issues to sort of mitigate any problems and minimize the disruption. So don't think that you have to remember tonight. There'll be more detailed.
I want to thank you. I think like it. But I have to see as long as I get my
It's the mass singer. Get it straight.
You look like we had some questions over
Again, the letter that I got on my door said that I'd be reimbursed for moving costs. So if I just moved all my shit out, then would my apartment get done sooner? Quicker?
No. Do you wanna say, yes, Sarah, why don't you talk about the general information notice? What it means for the relocation means.
So everyone received a general information notice, I believe, late last week. That provided you formal notice this project is happening. You're not being required to move permanently. You may be required to move temporarily. So whether that's temporarily in the building or temporarily off-site, that provides you the initial notice. If you
What if
are
we're not
being asked-
required to move and we do it anyway?
If you choose to move on your own, those costs are not compensable. If you are required to move off-site during the construction, you'll receive that notice, hopefully at the end of this week or first part of next week. And then Shannon and Rodney and I will meet with you individually, to discuss your needs, your moving benefits, relocation costs, and your specific situation. So more information for those units on that will come from us the next couple of weeks. And those are the 01 units and the 07 units.
So, we might move out for 30, 45 days.
The units that are, the 01 and 07 units that will be moving off-site, we're looking at 10 to 11 months. So the duration of the construction project, and again, those moving expenses and any costs related to the temporary relocation are being funded by the project.
And the letter that you got, that general information notice, it says non-displaced. It means that you are not being forced to move out of this building permanently, though you might have to temporarily relocate. And that's a HUD required notice, and so it's really important that you just sign it, acknowledging that you have it, because we have to keep those on file. And then if you have any questions, my office number is on there, but I'll hand out my business card, and Sarah will too. You can call us if you have, for instance, you work from home or your night shift. And so we'll take some notes and we'll share with Becky so that they have the information. If you have a piano and that might need to be moved down the hall, anything like that, just feel free to reach out to us. And the folks that are the 01 and 07 will be reaching out to you, and our job is to make this as stress-free as possible for you, and you should not incur any extra costs. So for instance, the folks that have the kitchen sink, if you have to go buy a sandwich, you're gonna get a little bit of a voucher reimbursement if you have to eat out for a couple of days or something like that. So anything that, might affect you in that regard, that Trellis is providing for that through the relocation plan for you.
I think he had his hand up first.
You can go ahead and drop it. I just had a question about that,
Yeah.
paperwork stuff. Is there actually gonna be a copy of that posted out here so we can come and look at it, or? Cause I have no idea what the ones and.
We can leave it here. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll leave it with the office. Yep.
Yeah, I had no idea what the blocks are you guys talking about. I haven't heard of it.
Sure.
First time,
The,
so.
there's the highlighted areas
Yep.
that tells which one's the hotel the occupied in the bay.
Right.
So-
I didn't hear it until now,
Yep.
so, yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to look at that, so.
Yep, and then as we get further along closer, our superintendent will describe
Right,
to each
right.
unit what that looks like, where we're going and all that, so. Yes, sir.
Here's an idea. Is there gonna be emergency lighting in the hallway? Because, there was one time early in the morning when the power went out, it was pitch black in the hallway.
So that is part of along with the generator, so we do have to upgrade the emergency lighting.
And then, are the bathroom sinks gonna be, anchored better where like, if we accidentally lean on them, we have to worry about them breaking off the wall?
Well, the carrier style that we put in are very durable. They're mounted to the structure. They're not meant for sitting on or leaning on.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
it'll be better. They are more durable, yes. Yep.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
I live in an apartment number 11.
Okay.
So you're gonna move in down the hall to 07, when it's your turn for your unit, and Fredericks will help you move all of your stuff, all of it, down to there, so it'll all be safe and with you. When you have to move in the building, you have to take everything, okay? So they'll give you extra boxes. If you need help for packing, let us know if you think that that's gonna be too much for you. And Fredericks doesn't pack, but they'll move everything from that unit down to the other unit and get your bed set up and make sure that your furniture is where you're gonna be for the next month and a half.
Is it just temporary?
There are in those vacant style units, we can leave some things in there
Okay.
if we need to. If you don't want or need to move everything, we can put it in a corner and be able to cover it, and it can be kind of stored there. But what we do ask though is you're gonna take everything that you are going to need, so that way you don't have to get access to your original unit during the construction. It just creates problems.
And they'll change the lock, so
Yep.
you'll have the key for, your key will go down to the other unit. And then when you go back, your key goes back there, so no one will be able to get into your unit. If you leave stuff there, it will be secure.
Yep.
So, after you're off, you're gonna have to move back over my house.
It'll probably more likely be sooner than that, than 2.5 months. Yes. Yep, so I think it's between 30 and 45 days is what we have right now. And that's gonna be fully determine after the first stack that we get done, how long that kind of takes. So, we have a good idea, but we're trying to make that better. You did have a question before we were here, so, yeah.
I'm on, 405.
405 is a moving stack that you move into the green. So you will.
That would be in the building.
Yeah.
On the same floor, just down the hall. Yep, yep. Yes.
So if you're moving out,
Yes.
so how do you
Your stuff will go with you.
Yeah.
It's going with you.
Do you have, are you setting up like apartments or different places?
Yes, so that's, Shannon and I and Rod are researching available units, and we'll help find one that's suitable for you, and that's, we'll interview and meet with you first to discuss what your needs are, location wise, parking, if you have a pet, and then we'll find units that will suit your needs too.
Is that gonna change the person's rent?
You will still have a lease agreement here and pay your rent here. Status quo, yep.
So we'll still pay on a different unit?
Yeah, well, they're renting the unit for you, you're
Yep,
paying
so
them.
it's like Trellis is renting the temporary unit and paying costs associated with that temporary space. And then you'll continue to have a lease agreement here and pay your rent here. Good question.
So nothing changes.
Yeah.
Correct. Just your physical location changes, hopefully that's all.
05 is also, you have to move down the hall. Yep. He had a question first.
What about the people right there next to the elevator?
So that is the 10 stack, that is an occupied stack, but that is the stack that has the kitchen sink that gets pulled for about a week for a change of use. That's where I talked about, vouchers, food vouchers, things like that. So,
So the, like the 09s are moving?
the 09s are in yellow, so you are moving down the hall, yes. Yes.
So I will be moving to 707s?
The 07s,
Sevens are
Oh,
off.
sevens
are all-
are offsite.
they're offsite.
We're
What
gonna
about
move
the,
it to a
yep.
different place offsite.
What about the, 809s?
Right
Yeah,
here
there's
first.
a couple.
So he has a good question, maybe this will help clarify. When Dave says stack, that means 201, 301, 401.
Yep.
Those units
Vertical.
that sit on top of each other, that's what a stack means.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all the way
So
down.
all of those in the corner are the 01s, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 2 01s. 07s, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 are all the 07 stacks.
I got
You got one.
You have to move.
I live in a 10 stack.
Down the hall, I think.
I got this.
I think so, but we'll be out
I'm
before
gonna
then.
escalate, but it's still up.
Yeah. No, we'll have our sign on our house by then. I'll have signed on our house. We're buying a house.
You're buying a house.
Did you say 809?
Yes.
You'll be moving down the hall.
And I'm next door to it.
In the middle here. The 04 is a pink, which is occupied. You will stay.
What about 08?
All right.
You wanna just go
Sure.
01 all the way through?
Here's what I'm gonna suggest.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna.
The 01s, 07s, we've established that we're moving offsite, right?
Yeah.
Over in corners. Okay. The 02s, 08s, 04s, 10s, and 6s are all occupied. You're staying. The 06s and the 10s have the kitchen sinks that are gonna be down for about a week. Okay? All the rest of the units are moving down the hall. So that incorporates the 03s, the 09s, the 5s, and the 11s.
I'm moving down the hall.
Yes. What about
Outside.
your what? Oh, the bed? That will be moved dressers, couches, tables, will all get.
Was there more we were talking about, or are we pretty much done?